So I hear so much that people will message on these dating apps and then they will eventually make a date. And they will get to the first date and they'll go, yeah, well, I'm curious to see what'll happen. And then the first date happens and they go, well, it didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? Well, I wasn't attracted to them. Or they said something that I was like, that's not, no, that's not my person. And so they very rarely get to a second date. So here's what's happening. When we're meeting somebody or really interacting with someone for the first time, we are basically scanning for safety. Do we connect or do we not connect? The brain is going to be net neutral while it picks up information, good or bad. If we are on a first date and we begin to talk as if we're in a interview, right? Because most people want to know, am I going to waste my time? Am I going to be hurt by this? Is this going to be a future problem? And they sort of go into information gather mode for the foreseeable future. And we have to stay present in this moment and we have to be curious. And how do we do that? So we can still ask questions. We can still be curious, but we do it in a different way. So questions such as, are you someone that values family? What was your family like when you were growing up? What kind of pet did you have? What was it like to be an older or a younger sibling? What do you like about your job? What do you not like about your job? What brings you passion? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not working? And all of this information, it's more about how they're saying it than what they're actually saying. Because if they're explaining who they are, you're going to hear it in what they're saying, whether you're asking a specific question or not. So let's say you're asking, what motivates you? And they say, well, my coworkers are amazing and we have a great team. And like, I love, getting projects done and working with them. We have a great relationship. Okay, that tells you something. Or if the person says, my team members, they're so awful, and they begin to tell you about all this drama that's happening with all their coworkers, that tells you information. So you don't have to be inquisitive or, asking these hard questions to make sure you're protecting yourself. Think of it like a puzzle where each piece is the puzzle piece. And then when you get enough information, when you ask about all aspects, right? Because you could be hearing about all this drama at work. Maybe their workplace really is very caustic and toxic, and maybe this is not who they are. And when you're hearing about other aspects of their lives, you realize that might be an anomaly and not because they're dramatic or difficult, right? So you want to see the whole picture, right? You want to be curious. So think about how they're saying it and not as much what they're saying. Because when we go into a first date, if we hear something, we go to the neutral, back down to zero. Okay, we don't want to do that. We want to keep going positive, right? Curious and positive until we have that big picture. We want to go on a few dates with someone because for the first couple of dates, people are just nervous and they're not really their best selves, right? We're kind of put on that social person, right? But maybe once they feel a little more comfortable with you, they're funny or they're smart or they're able to have better, more interesting conversation because they're feeling less anxious, right? Don't you want to know if that's there? So go on at least a few dates. One of them should be something that's playful, that's fun. You should laugh together, right? Playing a game or going ice skating or roller skating or whatever it is, right? Something where you're laughing together and enjoying time together. Remember when you were a little kid and you would laugh so much with your best friend, your stomach hurt? That's what we want to do. We want to gain that. And that's where we go positive instead of negative in our attachment. Because then the brain goes, oh, look, this is good. This is fun. I feel safe. So that's where we want to get. If you're on a first date and you're net neutral and you go into interview, it's only going to go down negatives. But we want to go positive because that person is telling you a lot about themselves in those questions, even if they're just broad questions. You're listening. And those are the information points you're taking in until you see that whole puzzle. And then you figure out what you want to do. So I hope that was helpful. Remember to be curious, to be present. You will get the whole picture. And it'll be just as disappointing as if it's the first date that you part ways or whether it's the third or fourth date. It'll still be disappointing. But at least you're really giving the person the chance. And then you might be surprised at the things that you're seeing once people are in a better place, once you're having fun together, and that attraction might grow from there. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.